how to solve a scenario. In your exam, how to solve a scenario in your exam. How to approach a clinical case in relation to diagnosis, investigation, and management in the exam. How to solve a scenario, you must have enough knowledge, you must have enough practice skills. Candidates fail for two reasons. Either they lack enough knowledge, or they have poor examination technique. Here we are going to discuss some technique how to solve a scenario in the exam in relation to diagnosis, investigation, and management. You have to learn this technique to make best use of your knowledge. If you are short on time, you can't revise a standard textbook. It is recommended to read a review book to consolidate your knowledge. As you get scenario in the exam, first technique or tactics, you have to read the scenario completely. As you get the scenario in the exam, first you consider the age of patient in the scenario, because certain diseases are common in certain age group. For example, patient A, present patient A, a 7-year-old child presented with cervical limb adenopathy. What is the diagnosis? Now we are going to discuss how to solve a scenario in relation to diagnosis. First we consider the age of patient. Patient A, a 7-year-old child presented with cervical lymphadenopathy. What is the diagnosis? Patient B, a 67-year-old male presented with cervical lymphadenopathy, what is the diagnosis? Here, presentation are same for both patient A and patient B. Both presented with cervical lymphadenopathy, but there is difference of age. Patient A is 7-year-old and patient B is 67-year-old. So there will be difference in the diagnosis. In case of patient A, that is 7-year-old child presented with cervical lymphadenopathy, most likely he is suffering viral or bacterial infection in the nose and throat. While in the case of patient B, that is 67-year-old male presented with cervical lymphadenopathy, most likely he is suffering from underlying malignancy. It could be leukemia or lymphoma. Age does not only help you in making diagnosis, it also helps you in making management measure. As we know, drug dosage, drugs interaction, and drugs contraindication are different in different age group. Ischemic heart disease, hypertension, stroke, chronic illness are common in elderly age group, while infectious diseases such as rheumatic fever, measles, polio, chickenpox are more common in early age group. So age is very important. Consider the age of patient in the scenario first. Second is the sex. Certain diseases are gender specific. Let us take a scenario. Patient a 45-year-old female presented with fatigue, lethargy, and exertional breathlessness, exertional short of breath, exertional breathlessness. On examination, she is pale. What is the diagnosis? Patient B, patient B a 45-year-old male presented with fatigue, lethargy, and exertional breathlessness. On examination, he is pale. What is the diagnosis? In these both scenario, presentation are same, age are same, but there is difference between sex. Patient A is female, patient B is a male. So, in case of patient A, our most likely diagnosis, she is suffering iron deficiency anemia, because patient presented with symptom of anemia. Patient presented with the fatigue, lethargy and exertional breathlessness. On examination, failure is positive. Most likely she is suffering iron deficiency anemia. But in case of patient B, that is male, presented with the fatigue, lethargy, breathlessness, failure is positive. Elderly male patient presented with symptom of anemia, it needs a lot of workup. It needs to do a lot of investigation to reach for the proper diagnosis. Elderly patient with symptom of anemia, it need to rule out the underlying malignancy. So on the basis of sex, as we know, certain diseases are gender specific. Iron deficiency anemia, SLE, IBS, rheumatoid arthritis, hypothyroidism are more common in female. While ischemic heart disease, hypertension, diabetes mellitus, myocardial infarction, stroke, osteoarthritis are more common in male. Then you consider in the scenario that is occupation of the patient. Certain diseases are common in certain occupation. If the occupation of the patient is given, is mentioned in the scenario, you have to consider this occupation. For example, a coal miner presented with shortness of breath, most likely he is suffering from pneumoconiosis. A office worker, typist, presented with numbness, pin and needle sensation, tingling and aching of hands, most likely he is suffering from carpal tunnel syndrome. Then you will consider address of the patient, residency in the scenario, address of the patient. Certain diseases are common in certain geographical area. Iodine deficient water, more common in hilly area due to low iodine content in the soil. A patient presented with the fever, vomiting, lethargy, and recently he came from Lahore, most likely he is suffering from dengue. But another patient with the same presentation, fever, vomiting, lethargy, but he is from CB, most likely he is suffering from malaria. Then you have to consider presenting complaint with duration. Presenting complaint with particular duration. Duration is very important. For example, patient A, a 35-year-old male, presented with fever, cough, and pleuritic chest pain for the last 7 days. What is the diagnosis? Patient B, a 35-year-old male, presented with a fever, cough, and pleuritic chest pain. What is the diagnosis? Here, presentation are same, age are same, sex are same. There is only difference in the duration. In case of patient A, the duration of presenting complaint is 7 days, while in case of patient B, the duration for the last 1 month. Duration is 1 month in case of patient B. What is the diagnosis? In case of patient A, the most likely diagnosis is that he is suffering from acute chest infection. He is suffering from acute chest infection in case of patient A. But in case of patient B, the duration is the 1 month. He is suffering fever, cough, and pleuritic chest pain for the last 1 month. Most likely, he is suffering from chronic chest infection. So, on the basis of duration, diagnosis will be changed. Then you consider rule of 3. Rule of 3. In the scenario, you consider the rule of 3. If you get a complex question, a complex scenario, you have to summarize the positive finding. You can't make diagnosis on a single piece of information, on a single symptom. On the basis of single symptom, on the basis of a single sign, you can't make proper diagnosis. At least for making a proper diagnosis, at least you need a cluster of symptom and sign. So always use the rule of 3 for proper diagnosis. Never make diagnosis on the basis of a single piece of information, on the basis of a single symptom and sign. In some time in the scenario, 2 parts of a question to be linked. For example, a 35-year-old male presented with fever, palpitation and breathlessness. On examination, he is pale, pallor is positive, he is having soft, faint systolic, murmur at the apex. Abdominal examination revealed splenomegaly. Neurological examination revealed right-sided hemiparesis with extensor plantar. What is the diagnosis? Here in this scenario, 2 parts of a question is linked. If you are going to mention diagnosis is infective endocarditis, diagnosis is infective endocarditis, you will get 50% mark. If you are going to mention embolic stroke, you will get the 50% marks. You will not get complete marks because here are 2 parts of a question is linked with each other. The accurate diagnosis in the case of this scenario, who is presented with the fever, palpitation, breathlessness, on examination he is pale, having soft, faint systolic murmur at the apex, splenomegaly and right-sided hemiparesis with extensor plantar. The most accurate diagnosis is infective endocarditis with embolic stroke. This will be accurate diagnosis. Now let us discuss how to solve a scenario in relation to investigation. In relation to investigation. Before we were discussing in relation to diagnosis. If you are asked for investigation, you must first consider all those investigations that help you to rule out the underlying life-threatening condition. If questions ask you For diagnostic investigation, you may assume that life-threatening condition will have been excluded. Let us take an example. Patient A, a 65-year-old male, presented with epigastric pain. What investigations would you like to do? Suppose option A, ECG, option B, endoscopy, option C, chest X-ray, option D, ultrasound abdomen. Patient B, a 65-year-old male, presented with epigastric pain. What diagnostic investigations would you like to do? Option A, ECG, option B, endoscopy, option C, chest X-ray, option D, ultrasound abdomen. Here difference is in the stem of the question. In the first scenario, in case of patient A, the question is that what investigation would you like to do? In case of patient B, what diagnostic investigation would you like to do? There is difference in the stem of question. Scenario, presentation, same. In case of patient A, what investigation would you like to do? The most accurate answer is ECG, because first you have to rule out the life-threatening condition. Elderly patient presented with epigastric pain, maybe he is suffering from myocardial infarction. But in case of patient B, what diagnostic investigation would you like to do? The correct answer is endoscopy. When question asks you for diagnostic investigation, you may assume that life-threatening condition will have been excluded. Now let us discuss in relation to management, how to solve a scenario in relation to management. In relation to management. If question asks you for management measure, be specific. Describe what you would do. Don't state just journal principle of management. You have to describe what you would do. Considering for management measure, First, you consider symptomatic management. Second, specific management. Third, management for complication. Fourth is the follow-up.